to have Katie Lou back in the mix, in the fold. Just a nice, sharp day in preparation for Dallas. Understanding we're coming off a day off, so have to kind of get to the threshold that we need to throughout practice. But a good, solid day, good energy, good focus, and I think we're ready to roll.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Percy Allen, why don't you kick us off, Percy?
Awesome. Hey, Coach, I'm just wondering, how do you integrate Katie Lou back in? Do you do it slowly, or do you throw her back into the fire?
Yeah, I think just kind of talking to her, we'll integrate her back in slowly and see, how she mixes in with that second unit. And obviously we had a good sample size of what she can provide for us before she left for 3-on-3. So just kind of working her back in the mix, similar to how we've done for the past couple of weeks as players have returned back.
Hey, and it isn't just with Lou, but are you just any concerns about when you're rolling like you are, 5 games, winning streak, about chemistry and about sort of disrupting any of that?
Obviously, it is early, and we always talk about, especially with a new team and new pieces, peaking at the correct time. Also, there's a level of not wanting to be complacent in where we are, and I don't think that we are. We're trying to continue to work our pieces together to find our chemistry, and I think that becomes the challenge to maintain this level, but also know that in our minds we want to continue to grow and get better. As far as chemistry, I think obviously it being a unique year, you talk about not having the normal type of season where you can go team bond and all these things that come into play that affect your chemistry on the court. But these women are professional in what they do, and just honestly, it's a day-to-day process of just finding our sweet spots with whether it's rotations, whether it's on the court, whatever that is. I think is very much the journey and the process this year with implementing everything new that we have.
And think just to like change things a like bit here. Just want to get your thoughts on, and it's kind of like out of sort of left field here, but just your thoughts on the new sort of the dress code this year. I don't know if it's mandated or not, but is it easier for coaches to like not have to think about sort of everything you have to wear, or do you not like it, or just what is your thoughts on the sort of the dress code?
The dress code for me in particular, if you kind of follow my coaching career, I try to, bring the swag when I can, but it's honestly easier, the lax dress code for us. And I think it's actually up to individual organizations and teams to figure out what they want to do with that. But I'm not
Oh,
going to even, yeah, I think it's just on the road traveling, it's easier from my perspective. So I think it's just depending on, preference.
so now that the buck stops with you, then do you plan to change it up and make your coaches sort of go back to the business attire?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that. But for now, we'll kind of just keep it. You talked about that 5 game winning streak. Maybe that has something to do with our
All right.
attire as well.
Well, thanks, Percy. If PR gets a vote, we'd stay like this all year, but whatever.
Right. Right.
Jeff Brown, why don't you go ahead, Jeff?
Hey, Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Jeff?
Doing pretty good. A little tired, but all good.
Yeah.
So with having a couple days off here, I think you tweeted out about just being thankful for everyone that's been reaching out and everything. I guess anyone special that kind of reached out to you over the past few days that you've talked to, with everything with the coaching change?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. You guys know I don't really like to name drop, but just got a lot of messages. Obviously, talking to Tina, Martin Jarman, the AD over at UCLA. I got a text from Trevor Ariza. You know, just an outpouring of love, just from family and friends, honestly, and old coaches, old teammates. I talked about how Sandy and the Phoenix organization reached out and text. Just so honestly, and I haven't even gotten through it. A lot of the messages still, so I'm still kind of working through. But yeah, it's been an outpouring of love, and it's for me, it's amazing to know that people are watching and they're just writing for me. And also with the perspective is, it's not going to always be roses and peaches and cream, and understanding that that's what comes with the job. But from the jump, from the get-go, it's been amazing. I've been having such great feedback, and just honest genuine love and respect, and I'm in a good place with that, and I'm just super appreciative of that.
Awesome. And then with facing Dallas next, looks like Satu will be back with them. What challenges does she bring? And then also, like, with her not being with this specific team, like as far as scouting her, do you have to go back to film from like last season?
Yeah, I mean, and you bring up Satu, and you also got to think Gray's back. But
Mhm.
Gray's playing at a high level as well. Satu, though they were playing for Brian Agler last year, she is who she is, and that she's a shot maker. She's a physical, athletic, and just brings a different dynamic. And so I think when you talk about just preparing for her, you do have to go back and kind of see what Dallas did with them, as far as just like her being on the floor with the players that we will face tomorrow night as well. But also understanding it's a new system and not really knowing where she would be. Is she going to play the four? Is she going to play the three? But just game planning for that and preparing for every different scenario does include kind of using some historical, data from the past, from last season. But yeah, I think you throw her back in the mix. Dallas is they're the 2-4 record, I believe they are. It's not indicative of what type of team they are. They have fire, power, and you throw Satu into that mix, and it's a matter of just figuring out ways to contain them, and you know, find our advantages within what we can do.
Definitely. And I think last one from me, with this being a Commissioner Cup game, does that change your approach or the team's approach at all, as opposed to even like the next game against Dallas that won't be a Commissioner's Cup game?
Yeah, it doesn't. You kind of look at how our games are scheduled, and sometimes you can feel like you can play it as if it's a series, like a playoff series in that sense. But I think each game is very important, Commissioner Cup or not. I think the goal is always to go in with a solid game plan and to execute that game plan, and that may change from Friday to Sunday. But whatever it is, the game is the game, and each game is very important.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Bill Schwartz, go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time this afternoon. Staying with the Dallas theme, that overtime victory down in Texas, even though you have a veteran club, what did that do for the psyche and maybe the belief early in the season?
Yeah, we have a veteran club, but we have new pieces of veteran. Meaning, we have, people who've been in the league, Steph Talbot, Katie Lou, Candice Dupree, but also they're new to us. So that newness is still quite there. But I think at the end of that Dallas game, what you saw was a group that had been here and had a little bit more chemistry and what we knew how to do. But a game like that, winning a tough game on the road, obviously we understand day in and day out, this league is very tough, but good teams find ways to win. And I think that kind of gave us a little bit of confidence and understanding that, to be in tough games early in the season and pull through gives us that information that we need later on in the season to say, hey, look, we've been battle tested. We've played in a couple of overtime games already. Now let's use let's keep that into our mental, in our mental Rolodex, and understand what we did, what it took to pull these games out that we will experience in the future that then become close toward the end of the game. So just for a veteran group, it was actually a new veteran group. I think it gave us some experience that'll be valuable toward, on our next road trip even, and definitely in the future.
We're not near full capacity yet, but what difference have the Storm fans meant to you so far up at Angel of the Winds?
Wow, I think they, they were a little bit closer. If it felt like the other day, and fans, we talk about, the fans when we were in Key Arena, it impacts in so many ways, as far as just like the noise, against your opponent, but it also gives you momentum. But I think the biggest thing is just they show so much love for us, and we reciprocate that within the product and playing hard for them, and it's good to have them back and cheering for us. And we want to always play well for our fans in front of our home fans, and protect home court.
Thank you. Good luck this
Yeah.
this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Masvita, go ahead, Masvita.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, can winning help merge the chemistry? I know we always think that, but in terms of, can you elevate players, get better in a system that's working so far?
I think so. Sometimes though you do learn a lot within losses, but it's important to know you learn a lot in wins as well. And I think what wins does is it gives us confidence in what we're doing. And having a new group, it is important that people feel comfortable in their role and that they can be great in their role, and to find success early, and to just continue to duplicate that success game by game is definitely a booster for those players who may need it. But yeah, I think within what we've done, we've found success in the wins, but also there's details that we get better at within those wins. We're not relaxed, we're not complacent in what we do, but it definitely helps. It does.
And then kind of off the court question, where did you go in your quiet time after you talked to everybody? Like, the last couple of days, was it a walk? What was that quiet moment like for you?
Yeah, I wish I was trying to go on a walk on Wednesday. I couldn't quite get there. But for me, it was on the drive back from Everett in my car, just no music, just my mind. And, in that moment, just very appreciative and thankful, and not quite understanding how I was chosen to be in this place. And but understanding I am the vessel, and I am using my time and my moments to just help whoever I need to help and lead where I need to lead. But yeah, on that drive back was actually my quiet time.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
Thanks, Masvita. Alexa, go ahead, Alexa.
Coach, this is Alexa Philpott from the Hartford Kern. It's great to meet you, and congratulations. I wanted to go back and actually ask you about Katie Lou real quick. What roles specifically, or what areas of the game do you think she'll be most impactful or be able to help you all most? And have you seen a more confident player? And I know you haven't necessarily had a chance to, be around her all the time because of her going back and forth, but do you get the sense that she's maybe a more confident player than she was maybe a year or two ago when she first came into the league?
Absolutely. I think sometimes within this league, environment changes a lot. When you have a coach and a team behind you, and know that, we're confident in what a player can do, you'd be surprised what that does for a player. And I feel that within Katie Lou, I feel that, she knows that she is valued, and that she is needed. She is a very smart player, immediately picked up on the nuances of our offense and defense. She can stretch the floor with her shooting. Obviously, the ability to play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, her length, and just, having a knack for basketball. I know she comes from a basketball family. She's a California kid, so I know a lot about her. But, just the presence that she has to pick up, the mind that she has for basketball. I think that is so important to have on this team. And she just kind of blended right in. As far as her role, again, we're not going to throw her in the fire. We will continue to blend her in, but her ability, as we saw before she left, to knock down open threes, to get to the rim, to be long defensively, she has some versatility that we haven't had, as far as having a 3 and 4, having the ability to play both positions. So just looking forward to continue to see her grow, not only as, in her hoop game, but also her confidence in what she does.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Alexa. And Eris, go ahead. Eris.
Hello, coach.
Hey.
Greetings from Greece. Which characteristics from your win against Indiana favor do you want for your team to rely on in the next games?
Just continue to rebound. I think it's big. Obviously, we've played some elite post players within the first part of our season. Trying to keep the teams out the paint and with our defensive presence, and most importantly, just to get out and transition and run and get easy baskets. There's synergy between our offense and defense, and a lot of times we're playing out of our defense. And so when we have the ability to contain teams and limit them to one shot per possession and get in the open floor and run and move the ball, I think that's when we're at our best.
Thank you, coach. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eris. And thanks, Coach. We really appreciate your time, and best of luck
problem.
tomorrow. We'll be back with you tomorrow just before the game.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
And now we're joined by Stephanie Talbot. And Stephanie is here. There she is. We'll go ahead and open things up for questions. If you have a question for Stephanie, go ahead and raise your hand through the reactions button there and kick us off. We'll get started here with first question. And Jeff Brown, go ahead.
Hey, Stephanie, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good. So last time I talked to you, you had mentioned just kind of like it was a little bit of an adjustment for you with the coaching compared to what you were used to. I'm not sure if you remember that, but could you give me like some examples of maybe, I guess, the coaching that you've been having here in Seattle versus other places?
Yeah, I guess it's different again now that Dan's gone, but I guess I spent 2 years in Phoenix, and it was I played 1 year in Minnesota. So I guess it's kind of my second coach I've had that's an American. I've only played for Aussie. So I guess different terminology, different styles of play, and just getting used to a few different styles.
Awesome. And then I feel like you've been getting maybe more adjusted to the team. I feel like the games you've had, I don't know, how would you evaluate your own performance? Because I definitely have seen improvement myself, but just curious about your own evaluations.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 games have been much better, I think. I'm not necessarily scoring a whole heap, but in this team, when you're playing with Jewel and Stewie, that's not always necessarily going to be your role. So I think playing defense and running the floor and spreading the floor and being able to knock down the open shots is kind of what's going to help this team. And I think I've gotten much more comfortable and much better the last few games playing with this team.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, you won Defensive Player of the Year in the Australian League?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And so do you take pride if they're putting you like, obviously in previous seasons, they would usually have Alicia Clark guarding one of the best perimeter players. And I know Coach was talking about how you had done a really good job of limiting Kelsey Mitchell in the last game. Do you take extra pride if you're being assigned to some of those top players?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think back in Australia, back home, I've been known as a defender for a while, since I was young, really. That's kind of how I made a name for myself and how I got to where I am. And I think trying to transfer that into my game over here, and if I can be that player here, it'll really help. So yeah, I definitely take a lot of pride in that.
Awesome. And I think last one from me, Coach indicated that with Katie Lou returning, they weren't necessarily going to rush her back into the starting lineup. So I assume that means that you'll probably be starting this next game. Have they mentioned that to you?
Yeah, Katie just had her first training back today. So I think, don't quote me on it, but I think I will be starting tomorrow. But either way, off the bench or on the court, yeah, I'm not too fussed. I don't mind where I start. I'm still going to bring the same energies I bring whether I start or I don't.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie.
Good stuff. And Masvita, go ahead, Masvita.
Yeah, just staying on that, Stephanie, just in terms of a team like this, the depth of it, what can you just say about as the teams get more familiarity with each other and also the quality of the team, regardless of who starts, except, Sue and maybe.
Yeah. Obviously, I think that's our biggest strength this year is our depth. We're still bringing players back in, like Katie Lou's only played 2 games. So to bring her back in is massive. We have even more depth. It doesn't matter who starts or who comes off the bench. I think that's the strength that we have.
Yeah, that's all I got for you. Thanks.
Thanks, Masvita. Pretty easy day for you, Steph. We appreciate you joining us, and well, good luck tomorrow against Dallas.
See ya.
We'll bring in Katie Lou Samuelson here to join us. And Katie Lou's just returned from the 3-on-3 tournament in Austria and is ready to face the firing squad here of the media. So here we go. Let's kick it off. Percy, why don't you go ahead and start us out?
Hello, Katie Lou. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Hey, I'm just wondering. So when you left the team, you guys were coming off of somewhat of a bad loss. Team was 1-1 and trying to find its way. The team that you're returning to, though, 5-game winning streak, 2 new players, and a new coach. How does it feel like a brand new team to you?
I wouldn't say it feels like a brand new team, but I think you can definitely tell, people have started to get more comfortable. You've been able to see people develop chemistry and things like that. And that's something that as we continue to move forward, it's gonna continue to grow.
And then, so with that then, so you return to all of this, how do you reestablish your role?
I'm just gonna go in and do what I do. I think, for me, I'm just looking to contribute in any way that I can and make sure that I, develop chemistry myself with people that I haven't played with yet and continue to grow with the players that I did play with before I left. But I think that, I have the ability to adapt to fit into whoever I'm playing with. And so I think I'm just going to continue to do what I do and help in any way I can.
Hey, and just this last one from me here. I think that you've had experience at this, before, but is there any extra motivation when you face a team that that you used to play for? And
I mean, I'm excited to play. I think I'm mainly excited to play again. I think, I was feeling pretty good playing with the Storm for about 1 week. And I think that's my main thing is coming back to get to play with them for longer than 2 games in a row. So yeah, we happen to be playing Dallas, but it's my first game back. And I'm just trying to get back into the groove with my teammates and see what else this season will bring more so than who we're playing each game.
I hear you. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Thanks, Percy. Masvita, go ahead, Masvita.
Yeah. Hey, Katie, just staying on this kind of re-entry theme. Is there some comfort knowing, the team's doing well, and even though it was only a week, but you're pretty familiar and you have time to get back without rushing?
Yeah, for sure. I think, if anyone has to leave a team or not be a part of it, you always want your team to do well. So it was easier for me to feel comfortable over there while they're winning every game, and just being able to go to sleep and wake up with the time difference and look and be like, oh, good, we won another game, and now I can watch it back. But yeah, I think I'm very glad that I had that opportunity to be with the team and get to learn, the plays and where I can fit in and stuff like that, because coming back into it, I have that knowledge. It's not just from, the beginning again. I have kind of been with them for a little bit, and so now it's just picking up and joining them on this good wave that they're riding.
Any cool moments, aha moments while you were over there and accomplishing that task, or you know what I mean, for that was like, well, this is kind of cool? I'm sure there are many. Is there one you can share?
Yeah, I think nothing really beats the feeling of when we officially qualified for the Olympics. I think we all were kind of, so focused on every single game, making sure we played together, make sure we took care of business because it's only 10 minutes long. And so once we finally won that last game and kind of could soak in the fact that, we're part of the first group to qualify for the Olympics and we have, the ability to go to Tokyo, like that was the coolest thing ever.
Fair enough.
Thanks, Masvita. Alexa, go ahead, Alexa.
Hey Lou, congrats on qualifying for the Olympics. Very awesome. I talked to Steph earlier today, and she mentioned just the ability of needing to compartmentalize. When you're over there in Austria, you kind of needed to focus on 3v3, and then when you're back here, you're going to have to focus on Seattle, and then from there you kind of just have to focus on what's at hand, I guess, wherever you are. So how have you, I guess, learned to do that throughout your career? But at the same time, it sounds like you were also paying attention to what was happening with the storm. So how have you just navigated that throughout your career?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've actually did, the best that I've done compartmentalizing things and like being in the moment this last trip. I think leading up to before I got to Seattle, I had a lot of anxiety about, I'm only there for a week and then I have to leave and then I have to come back. And I went inside myself and was like, just enjoy every step of the way. Like I chose to play on this 3-on-3 team for a reason. I want to be a part of this team that gets to go to the Olympics. And so that in itself made it easy for me to and just enjoy the moment of being over there. It's pretty rare that anyone gets to do this. And so you have to be grateful for every opportunity. And like I said, it's always nice to see that my team at home was doing well at the same time. So that made it a lot easier.
And how was it, I guess, leading up to like the qualifying tournament and then also like once you were there to try and establish chemistry also since you were, I guess, added to the roster in March? Just to establish that on-court chemistry and then even off the court, the camaraderie that you all had together.
Yeah, so we had gotten to, or the last time I had played with them was in tryouts before the whole pandemic hit. And so that was a long time ago that I actually got to be on court and play with them. And so once, we were together again, it definitely took a little bit of time in that exhibition tournament. We were very grateful that we went to that to kind of get all that connected and clicking. But we just had a great group of four. I think the biggest thing was there was no type of being concerned about who had the ball where or what. Like all four of us were just thinking about getting there and qualifying for the Olympics. And so I think that with that and having such a great group, we got along really well off the court, got along on the court, and it definitely, you could see it in the way that we played together. It kind of clicked easy for us.
And last one for me, do you I assume you like playing 3-on-3 if you're, playing with this Olympic team, but what are your just impressions of 3v3? Do you think it's helped your just, regular 5v5 game, or what's it like kind of going back and forth between the two styles of play?
Yeah, I love 3-on-3. I've been playing with USA since I went to a U18 tournament in 2013 or 2014 and something like that. But I love it. I think it's so specific in the fact that you can't hide. Every person is so valuable to the team, and you have to, hold your own as a player and be really accountable in order to win games. And so I definitely think that playing 3-on-3 does help your 5-on-5 game in terms of defensive. You have to be able to stop your man. No one's helping you. There's no help defense. So working on that, and then just, feeling confident with the ball, because you have to do screening, you have to come off ball screens, you got to slip, you got to roll, all stuff that can translate into the 5-on-5 game. I definitely think it helps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Alexa. Bill Schwartz, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, congratulations on becoming an Olympian. There's no certainty, though, you're going to get to go. So how do you prepare yourself for the unknown over the next few weeks, or whether you get to go to Tokyo or not?
I think, I'm just trying to stay in the moment right now. I was able to be a part of that group that was, something that's never been done before. And I really enjoyed that. And now I have a whole season that I need to focus on. So not that it's going to be easy, but it's definitely easier with the fact that I have games and things that I want to accomplish this season with the Storm that I can really put all my energy into. And, whatever happens in the future, that's out of my control now.
Folks around here are very familiar with Kelsey Plum. What makes her a good 3-on-3 teammate?
She can do everything, a little bit of everything. And one of the biggest things for me is just how smart she is at reading plays. And that's one of the main factors of 3-on-3. You have to be able to think quickly and decide, make split decisions on whether, you keep the ball, you slip, do all types of reads. And I think that's what makes her such a good 3-on-3 player.
And final one from me, Katie Lou. Noelle Quinn, now your head coach, but has this been seamless? I mean, her style, just from your one short week here and maybe a little bit of practices, the way she runs things.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've all been able to pick up where we left off. And for me, today was my first practice with her officially as head coach. So I didn't feel any different than I felt back at, the week I was here.
All right, thanks, Bill. Jeff Brown, why don't you wrap us up, Jeff?
Hey, Katie Lou. You might have covered this a little bit already, but just talk about the challenges both on the court and off the court for the 3x3 for you.
So challenges on the court is that it's such a short game, and it's kind of, you have to be so ready to go, so warmed up, because it's only 2s for 3-pointers and 1s for everything else. So if a team gets hot, they're, getting to 21 a lot quicker than you. And so making sure that you're ready to go, you're focused. And I think the biggest thing, especially for our team, was making sure our defense was there. Off the court, it's just kind of weird because it takes you back to like when you were younger and like AAU days of playing a game and then waiting for an hour, just sitting there watching other people and then playing another one. So I think that's kind of what was the weirdest thing about it.
Nice. I coach AAU, so I know all about that. And then when you came back to Seattle, what were the conversations like with Coach Quinn as far as kind of ramping you up back with the team? And is there any kind of specific timeline or goals for you with that?
I think just getting back comfortable in the flow of things. Today, I really just tried to jump right in there and play as much as I could, remember as many plays as I could. It was a little bit of a struggle at first, but that's the best way for me to get back up to speed, is just to go and play as much as I can, get used to everything with how it was.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we got one more question, Eris. I almost forgot about you. Go ahead.
Hello, Katie. Well done for your qualifying on 3-on-3 basketball in Olympics. 3-on-3 basketball will make its Olympic debut in Tokyo. What new do you think it will bring to the Olympic Games?
I think it's going to bring a lot of I think a lot of people are going to be interested just to see kind of what it is at first. It's going to just spark a lot of conversation about the actual sport. But it's really fun. It's fast paced. It's music playing the whole time. It's kind of like a street style carnival. Like everyone's there walking around. You can go to different courts and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see, what people think of it. I love 3-on-3. I think it's a great sport. I think it's really fun to watch because anything can happen in 10 minutes. So I think people are actually going to really, really like it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Katie Lou, for joining us. We appreciate your time, and good luck tomorrow with your return to the team. Everybody else, thank you for joining us. We'll have shoot around media availability tomorrow at 12:45. Those players will be announced here shortly. And then coach availability at 5:45, and then join us for post game after the game is over. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.